How important is finding the voice to finding the character?
Yeah, I like that work. I like working with voice and accent and quality of voice. I really enjoy. And this was just a joy to play with, and because he's like the only footage I had of him speaking was the real guy. Like, there's real stories. This guy is amazing. This amazing guy called Desmond Doss. Jesus, talk about Jesus. Like he is close to Jesus in my heart. Just a beauty. And he there's a great documentary called The Conscientious Objector, which and he talks. I won't be able to do it now, but he has this cochlear implant, so he's on a delay, and he kind of talks out of the side of his mouth, and he kind of talk like this, but I kind of had to work backward from this strange, like he couldn't quite understand you can't even understand what he's trying to say. And I'm like, okay, I can't do that. But what's that when he's a young man? And there's a little bit of footage when he's a young man, but it's so extreme. Anyway, yeah, beautiful. And I got to visit where he was raised in Lynchburg, Virginia, and kind of Appalachia, and you start listening to music from that part of the world.
Wow, you
and
did that.
Oh yeah, all that, and then that informs your rhythm, and
Yeah, these are very difficult decisions because this isn't about what you can do as an actor. This is about you're making an intellectual decision on how much to do. Because at the end of the film, they show some footage of the real guy, and if you did play it that way, it would seem like a caricature,
Right,
Because
yeah.
he's so extreme.
Yeah.
So then, who do you turn to for advice? Do you talk to Mel Gibson about that? Your voice coach?
Yeah, I talked to Mel, who's great, who's a great director, who just kind of trusts you. But he just, again, is one of those guys that just goes, trust yourself, and if something's feeling off, I'll let you know, and we'll figure it out. But no, it's really, you live and die by your own choices, I think. And I think that's the beautiful torture of doing something that's so vulnerable for a living, is that ultimately you have to always, I find, I always have to come back to myself and go, okay, it's no one else's face up there, it's mine. So how do I'm about to make this stupid decision. Is it stupid? Or is it the right kind of stupid? Or is it the wrong kind of stupid? And I've always just got to go, no matter who's throwing what at me, even if it's like, Scorsese going, try it this way. I've always got to check in with myself. That's a hard thing to do, especially when it's Scorsese.
Right. Yeah.
Or Mel, for that matter.
What makes Mel a great director?
He's in the scene with you. He's in the frame with you. He's all flesh and blood and passion and like. And again, maybe the most loving director I've ever worked with, just in terms of holding space for his actors and his crew and everyone being treated equal, and wears his heart on his sleeve. You always know what he's thinking, which is interesting sometimes.
In what way?
But just with someone who's so kind of emotional and instinctive and just kind of responsive. There were some times where he would give notes, and coming out of anyone else's mouth, they would be insulting, but they weren't coming from him because he's got this childlike, guileless kind of quality. And I remember there was one time where I was like, I wasn't getting it, and he kept on coming up to me and like not knowing, like he's very physical, he's very kind of like, and I'm like, what? And he's like, and I'm like, what is it you want? I'll have to like take 6 or something. And he's like, nothing that you're giving to me. Come and but it wasn't hurtful. It was just like so sweet. And I was like, oh, I really want to give you what you want. How do I give you? How do I give you what you want? Let's do it. Let's figure it out together. There's no judgment in it. There's this weird like, and he lets things go like the next moment. It's like, oh, nothing just happened. Like that didn't. It was this childlike way of being present in the world.
What was your toughest moment on that film? The big battle sequences.
Yeah, because the film, hopefully you guys will see it. I think it's a very beautiful film, very violent, but hopefully honoring the violence of war, the brutality of what it is to be on the front lines. That stuff was really hard, but nowhere near as hard as actually being there. So it's kind of like, how do you talk about how hard a film shoot was ever, knowing that people are living it somewhere right now in their own in their own version of in the modern version. So no, I mean, yeah, that was hard, but I'm so silly. I texted Vince Vaughn, who's in the film, one night. I was like, oh, pretend war is hard, and it's just ridiculous to kind of even remotely complain about what we do. It's a gift that we get to tell stories, and tough stories that are painful sometimes to watch, but ultimately healing, I think, if you go into the wound enough. And this film goes into the wound of war, the wound of battle, the wound of PTSD, those kinds of things. So I'm really excited for people to see it.